Rolling options properly can lead to maximum passive income. And if you do not understand the 4 strategies I'm teaching you inside this video, you can really hurt yourself in the markets with a short option. It can get very dangerous. Let's dive right into this. What I want to go over though is what is rolling and what does that look like? What does that even mean? So you followed me, you learned about leap options, you learned about credit spreads. You can roll pretty much any short option. And this is where the option is going to lose most of its value, and there's really no point in holding it to a certain point. And when you get too close to expiration, you want to roll all your options. You do not want to hold through expiration. So for example, this 5-10 short call on SPY. Tomorrow, it's going to be making 98% return of it the last $20. So this option is short, means it has a -1 in your account. Rolling an option is basically closing this guy out. So if you roll it personally without having to do a whole order together, that means you're just buying back the option. So if you bought it, you sold it for $200, let's say that was your entry point, you're making at this point $190 from that. So the last $20 is left to receive. You can see again, tomorrow morning you wake up, you pretty much had that full $200 credit. So again, to exit this option, you have to buy it back. -1 plus 1 is 0. So that is how we get out of the current short option. And the idea is rolling is just adding time on it, pushing it out further, getting it to a different strike, same strike, or lower strike, depending on the 4 strategies I'm going to teach you today. So again, if we go out 7 extra days, that option is again $200 credit. So we consistently collect $200 in short calls with SPY, let's say in these 2 scenarios, the first one, the second one. And then when we get close to the 6th of March, we do it again. We buy back this option, hopefully at a lower price, and then we're going to short another option in the future. So it's very important to understand your -1. The opening position is sell to open. So you have to do a -1 to get into the position. But here is the complete framework on rolling options. And I made this for our coaching students, and this is 1% of the education we give to those students. So if you do want to apply to the coaching program, be sure to click the link in the description, fill out an application. It's closed for now. We're going to open it up in the future and start reviewing applications at that time. But let's dive right into, again, a sneak peek in what we teach our students on leap options, but specifically rolling short calls or short puts. So there's 4 ways to roll. You can roll out, which is plus 7 days, and it's typically the same strike. You can roll out and up. This is where it's plus 7 days and a higher strike. I say 7 days because that's kind of the cream for collecting income, the cream of the crop. Most options are decaying and they have expirations every 7 days. They're decaying the fastest in that 7-day window. So for SPY, you could do this for 2 days out. You could do this for 3 days out. Because if we go back to SPY here, SPY's expiration is literally every single day. So while I say 7 days, it's just because if you're doing Tesla, you're basically doing this strategy on Thursday and Friday. You're rolling Thursdays and Fridays. And you can only do 7 days out as the shortest opportunity to make that cycle of income. But the cycle of income can be faster with SPY because these options are every single day. And the point is that these 2-day out options are decaying the fastest. For example, this option for the 29th on SPY, you're waking up tomorrow to a 60% gain of premium. The option expiring tomorrow, you're waking up to a 94% chance of premium gained. So the options 2 days out decay extremely fast, but then 7 days out, you're waking up to 30% premium received just from waking up. You're getting paid from waking up. But again, the shorter you are till expiration, the faster that premium collection is. That's why it's important to understand what works for you, which expiration date's the best, which index fund, which stock. Again, this is a general rolling principle, but you can tweak it to your own. So we can also roll out and up, which is if you're in the money. A lot of people get in the money with short strikes and they get nervous. You can just roll it out and up. We'll talk about how to get out of that position without even losing any money. This is where you go 7+ days and you go a higher strike in some cases. And lastly, out and down. Out and down is if you're bearish. And we'll talk about what the scenarios for that in a second. So rolling out looks like this. When the market is sideways, you want to be able to just keep the same strike. And this allows you to collect income, the maximum amount of income from the same strike. So this is where this option decays pretty much to zero. You can see the credit is almost zero. And 7+ days brings us to the 5th of March. And then that 442 call, instead of $2 credit, gets you $165 credit. The reason why this is meaningful is because if you don't have credit to collect, there's really no point in being in the short option. You want to have that premium negative in your account so you can collect it. And that amount of premium is your ability to make income. So if it ever gets too small, you got to start thinking about rolling. And so this is where if the market is sideways, like right here, we have the short strike. This is the old strike and the new strike. The strikes don't change. We're just adding more time. We can see that the market has a top over here at 437.70 and then a top over here at 440. Those are some sellers that we know are probably going to keep down the market just in like the next 2 days, maybe 3 days, 4 days. So there's some resistance. This, if we rolled out, we want consolidation. We want the market to stay sideways. So you got to be careful selling into bull momentum. That's kind of the one thing that's going to hurt you. But if we keep the same strike, if the market trades sideways, we just collect a great amount of premium here. So that's rolling just out, just more time on it. Now here's where it gets interesting, is going out and up. So up again is where the strikes go higher. And in this scenario, the market got close to your short option. And if it gets close to your short option, if you rolled it for the same strike, the problem would be the delta would be too high. And that means the chance of profit would be too low. So that means you could go through the short strike at a higher chance. And you don't want to do that. You want to have your chance of profit being 80% because you don't want it blasting through your short strike because your long option is limited there and you can't make money through the short strike. So it's really good to play around that 80% chance of profit and 20 delta. This allows you to keep the long option and then collect income from the short option consistently. We can see again, the ideal scenario is 7+ days and then roll the strike up to like a 20 delta. This allows you to make money from consolidation, reversals, or slight moves higher. And on the chart, let's see where the chart is. This one's going to be different. We're going to go through a couple scenarios here, but you can see the chart. We're going to be going over like the different strikes and what they look like. So if we rolled out and up, we're going from the 438 strike to the 446 strike. This would be a 20 delta you could see down here on option strat. And this allows you to collect $130 on triple Qs before expiration, while that last option was basically going to zero. So on the chart, this is what it looks like. So again, this is the scenario where the strike is out of the money, but it's too close to price. It's too close to price, and if you rolled it, the chance of profit would be too low. So you would have a higher chance of going through the short strike. So the idea is roll it plus 7 days and then higher strike price, up and out. So that 446 strike, again, gives us 80% chance of profit. That is the ideal scenario, for when it comes close to your short strike, but not over it. But there's scenarios where it goes in the money. In the money is sketchy and people don't like it. They get nervous, but it's not the worst thing in the world. As long as you close those options before expiration or just roll it, you can get out of it by rolling. Super simple. So this is where the strike goes in the money, like 1 day to go, 2 days till expiration. And basically there's 3 rolling options I want to discuss. The bear roll is where you just live with it being in the money and you just put 7 more days on it. The reason you would do this is that you think the market's going to fall apart, fall down in the next 7 days. And by keeping that in the money strike, you're making a lot more premium because it's in the money. It's the maximum amount of premium you're collecting from these 3 options. The other roll is the bull roll, and the bull roll delta 20, bull roll, same premium. The bull roll, same premium is like this option here is $60. If you roll it, same premium, you're just trying to make back that $60. Same premium, 7 extra days. And that's where you basically just try to get that same credit you were trying to get initially. And then we also have the delta 20 bull roll. This is where we're trying to assume the market's going to be bullish. So we're just trying to roll it up and add 7 days, but this time go with delta 20. What this looks like is that the bear roll goes from $50 premium to $500. And the reason why I say this is $50 is not collected yet. And then if we roll it, we're adding on more premium to possibly make. This is passive income. This is money we want to collect if the option goes to 0. So the chance of profit is 65%. So you should understand that the bear roll is the sketchiest roll out there because the market does need to go somewhere. And if it doesn't, you're limiting your upside for the long option. And the more you're in the money with a short call, the sketchier it could be. If you get assigned, you have to figure out how to close the position. But let's say like you have that last $50 premium, you just want to get your $50. This is where you could just roll it to where it's the same credit and the strike price is whatever higher that gives you that $50 credit. So before we had a 436 strike, you basically move your option strat higher until the credit's the same. This means that you'll still get that credit and you'll have a higher percent chance of profit. So 90% chance of profit. The one thing you need to understand is that in this scenario, the delta 20 pays more premium. If you go and roll for the bull roll style, if you do bull roll delta 20, you're getting $176 premium instead of $50 and 80% chance of profit. So if you did that in this scenario, you make more. But in some scenarios, the same premium roll makes more. So it just depends on what strike price and how far you're in the money at the time of the last day to go. But this is 80% chance of profit. And as you can see, it's 3x premium. Just by going and using the delta 20 roll, 3x premium. And so on the chart, this is what it looks like. If you were bearish, let's say you're in the money here. In the money means the stock is above the current strike. And we close like 30 cents above it, looks like. If you roll, the market going down 30 cents in 7 days seems realistic. So a bear roll here wouldn't be a bad idea. The market's dropping 50 cents lower looks very possible. And the reason why you could take that risk is because you have more premium to possibly collect. So before we had $176 for the 20 roll and then $50 for the same premium roll, but $500 for the bear roll. So if you think the market's bearish, it's better to just go with that. And if you do pop down in 7 days, you're collecting like 10x or 3x the premium of the other rolls. But if you're thinking the market's bullish, this says neutral, but it's supposed to say bullish, the 444, 80% chance of profit, and then the 451, 90% chance of profit. So you can see like if the market's bullish, those strikes are pretty far apart and they're farther away from the current price of the market. So that might be better for the bulls. So here's the other scenario is if the market moved down a lot, typically your strike price is high, like way too high to roll to the same strike. This is where the market is bearish, drop down. You want to be rolling out and down. This is where more time and lower strike prices are going to help you out. So another week is the goal of dropping, and that allows you to again collect that premium. Consolidation is good, or slight moves up are good in the market for any type of short call. In this scenario, you can see the 450 call was your initial strike price. The premium is pretty much zero, so there's no point in holding that when it gets under $5, honestly. And then if you tried to roll it, basically the 450 chance of profit would be like 90%, but the credit to receive would be like so small. Let's say like $50, $20. The problem is the 450 call, the chance of profit's way too high and the premium would be too low. So the best thing to do is roll your strike down to the 444 call to get that 80% chance of profit. So this allows you to get good premium, and then if the market drops, you'll collect it faster. So here's the scenario on the chart. Like again, let's say you put on your short strike over here, like the market was bullish, you shorted that 451 call, and at that point, that call was X amount away from the market. And so let's say over here, or let's say this candle down here, we were a lot lower and that call was a lot further away now. So let's say this blue candle, you're trying to roll there. 450 is just, it's too far. You want to roll lower to collect more premium. And that's the ideal scenario, is try to roll it down to a 20 delta, 80% chance of profit, that combination. And let's say you were doing it on the blue candle. Well, now you're at the 444. But again, you're collecting more premium. You're collecting $148 instead of like the 450. And I can show you what it looks like on the chart for the triple Qs. So the difference in the price is massive. So the 450 is like $68. And then if you do the 444, that's going to be like 200. So you're 4xing your income just by rolling down. It's important to understand there are times in the market where you want to do that. The market's consistently dropping. You can collect some more income there. And that's all I got for the slideshows. This is a short but comprehensive video on rolling. Hopefully you understood it. And again, if you want to apply for some coaching, some one-on-one help, click the link below and fill out an application. Limited students get in, but we're trying to help them massively in the markets. I'll drop a video to the right of me on the poor man's covered call and how to sell puts when the market's dropping. That's a huge strategy to pick up. See you on the next one. Peace out, traders.